with with the mission and the interest of learning forest forest sector competitiveness, I started this research, open innovation and corporate foresight practices in equipment and technology suppliers to the U.S. forest sector. In the next approximately 30 minutes, I will present my master thesis. I will start with the background and a research problem. And then I will talk about the theoretical background and research objectives. Then I will move on to research method and results and discussion. At last, I will present the conclusions and the implications, as well as limitation and future research. First, the background and research problem. So equipment and technology suppliers has a long history to help the U.S. forest sector to improve their productivity and efficiency and provide technical solutions to the new market demand. In the new business context, where disruptive changes are taking place, these suppliers will continue to help facilitate U.S. forest sector competitiveness. And despite the importance of these equipment and technology suppliers, little research have been done in general about their business activities. So in the business context of these suppliers, new technologies are disrupting the forest sector. For example, the robots, the satellite data, the artificial intelligence have been used in the forest sector. And also increased focus on sustainability is a mega trend reshaping the forest sector. The long-term sustainability development has been on the agenda of non-profit organizations and government of different countries. Bioeconomy strategy have been on the agenda of more than 40 countries worldwide, including US. And also the disruptive crises, such as the recession in 2008 or the ongoing pandemic, add more certain uncertainties to the business environment. So the biggest question posed to these suppliers is how to survive and succeed in an increasingly complex business environment. In order to answer this big question, these suppliers may need to answer some more detailed questions, such as what does the future look like to their companies? Who will be our future customers? What is the new demand of our future customers? Who will be our future competitors? And what will be the new policy and regulation? Even with the answer with these questions, we might have that these suppliers will need to know about more questions like what knowledge or technology do we need, and how can we meet the new demand, and how can we enter the new market faster, and how can we outperform our new competitor, and who can we work with to realize all this, and how to answer all these questions. The trick is to see the future before it arrives. This is a quote from Hamel and Prahalad's article, published on Harvard Business Review in 1994, Competing for the Future. And of course, it would be nice for everybody to foresee the future, just like we have a crystal ball. Even though we don't have a crystal ball, we have foresight. Foresight, the difference is the foresight is not about predicting the future, it's about the decision we make and the action we take today in order to better prepare for the future. So you may have heard of foresight under other names like strategic foresight, future studies, future research, or corporate foresight. The corporate foresight is to create the vision about possible future with the trend and weak signals, and then translate these visions into strategies and trigger managerial actions. With the vision on corporate foresight, new ideas are needed to meet the demand for the new market and new competition. Due to the complexity and disruptive changing business environment, radical innovation and interdisciplinary cooperation are needed. In the new open innovation is the new phenomenon in the field of innovation, and it has a perfect fit in this background. Next, I will talk about the theoretical background, and I will start with the definition of corporate foresight and open innovation. Corporate foresight is defined by Robeck in 2010 as an ability that includes any structural and cultural element that enables the company to detect this continuous change early, interpret the consequences for the company, and formulate effective responses to ensure the long-term survival and success of the company. From this long definition, we can find the keyword that is mainly about the structural and cultural abilities of a company. And the way to realize it is to detect, interpret, and respond to the disruptive changes. And the purpose is to ensure the long-term survival and success. And open innovation is defined by Chesbrough in 2006 as the use of purposive inflows and outflows of knowledge to accelerate internal innovation and expand their markets for external use of innovation respectively. Here are two figures that help us to understand this definition. Traditionally, the valuable ideas are developed and commercialized within the corporate limit, just like the figure in the left for closed innovation. As you can see that the innovation funnel, the wall of the innovation funnel is solid. It represents the corporate limit for their resources and ability. And then because of the new business context, more sophisticated innovation method is needed because of the requirement for broad collaboration and radical innovation. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the open innovation innovation funnel. As you can see, the limit here, the corporate limit here is more penetrable. The valuable idea can be from inside and outside the company limit. They also can go from inside and outside the market. So here is the future fitness portfolio developed by Heiko et al. In 2010. They classified the companies into 5 categories: beginners, midfielders, innovators, futurists, and future fittest, according to their innovation management and the corporate foresight development stage. As we can see that from in the y-axis direction, the companies on the bottom are more closed in their innovation activity management, and then on the top they are more open in their innovation. And on the x-axis to the left, they are less sophisticated in their corporate foresight, and to the right, they are more sophisticated in their corporate foresight. And the companies are striving to be the future fittest in order to be more competitive. And Anko et al. In 2011 introduced the Open Innovation Maturity Framework. They measure the open innovation maturity in 3 dimensions: climate for innovation, partnership capacity, and internal process. And Robeck in 2010 introduced the corporate foresight maturity model framework. Among 3 dimensions: context, capabilities, and impact. The capabilities is about the corporate foresight maturity in 5 dimensions: cultural, information usage, method sophistication, people and network, and organization. Here is the motivation and goals. Because of my personal experience in the industry, and also the disruptive changes in the business context that imposed the opportunities and challenges to the suppliers. And also there's a lack of empirical study on open innovation and corporate foresight practices in the US forest sector, especially in the technical suppliers to the US forest sector. And my goal is to identify the current state of open innovation and corporate foresight practices among the equipment and technology suppliers to the US forest sector. And I hope that I can contribute to future open innovation and corporate foresight research and provide implication for managers to improve their firm competitiveness. And the research objectives, the first one is to measure open innovation maturity level of equipment and technology suppliers to the US forest sector. And the second objective is to assess their corporate foresight maturity level. The third one is to explore the relationship between the two. Here's the research method. My respondent are equipment and technology suppliers to the US forest sector, and they are incorporated in the US. And these respondents are identified from the EWTA supplier list and the exhibitor list of 3 important trade shows in the industry: LIGNA, AWFS, and IMTC. The company executives and senior managers who have access to the open innovation and corporate foresight planning and implementation practices are contacted. In total, 220 firms are our total population. This is a quantitative study. We send out the online survey via Qualtrics. Due to the fact that we don't have a database for these suppliers, so we used all the possible method to contact them, the phone, email, and LinkedIn email. The data collection period is from June 15th to December 15th in 2020. About 1/4 companies responded, so that we have a response rate of 23.9%. According to the forest sector business survey response rate in the literature, it is from ranges from 9.6% to 19%. So this response rate is regarded as satisfactory. The data analysis was used SPSS software and different tests, for example, Pearson correlation and k-means clustering analysis have been used. In the results section, we will have more explanation here on this. And also we compared 1-person and 2-person responses in order to make sure that there's no significant difference between the two. This is we have the 1-person and 2-person responses is mainly because of the fact that in some companies they have 1 person is in charge of open innovation and corporate foresight, and in some companies they have more person who knows about it. So we have 2 kinds of responses, and we also check the non-response bias. So here is the result and the discussion. First of all, the supplier type, 69% of our respondents are equipment and tooling suppliers, and 27% are 4% are technical suppliers, and 27% are both. So predominantly our respondents are equipment and tooling suppliers. And about the firm size, we categorized the companies into 2 groups. Companies less than 5 with less than 5 employees, and more than 500 employees. Defined by U.S. International Trade Commission, companies less than 500 employees can be SMEs, that is small and medium enterprises. So later on, hereafter, we will refer company with less than 500 employees as SMEs, and more than 500 employees as large firms. So among our respondents, 83% are SMEs. And here is the result from the K-means clustering analysis. Companies are categorized into two clusters. As you can see that the blue circles are the companies in cluster one. There are 22 companies in this category. And then the red circles represent the cluster two. It has 30 companies. And the large company firms are marked with gray stars, and they are distributed into among the two clusters. Cluster one is less developed with their combined open innovation maturity level and corporate foresight level than the cluster two. If we bring the future fitness model here, we can compare that most of these suppliers are meat fielders. A few of them, about 3 of them are still beginners. There are a few innovators and futurists. And there are 5 companies on the top. They have open innovation maturity level and corporate foresight maturity level, both above 4. And they are sort of the future fittest firms. Because of the fact that we are using the exploratory character of this research, we are not using the same scale as the original model. In the original model, they are using the innovation management and corporate foresight development stage, while we are using the maturity levels. So our result is only preliminary, and it can only provide the relative scale. So I didn't overlap these my results with the model. But it gives some direction for the future research, I believe. And for the open innovation maturity level and corporate foresight maturity level, we also put all the results into radar diagram. So with this diagram, we can see the low aspects of the maturity level, and that also represent the areas to be improved by the companies. So for both large firms and small SMEs, these are the areas that is still less development. The assessment and incentives, the standardization for partner management, the partnership management training, and innovation facility is rarely shared. It's very low here. And for large firms, on average, they have low record score for attitude towards legal and intellectual properties. And for corporate foresight maturity scores, we have both of large firms and SMEs have low bottom-up foresight or employee involvement, incentives to reward scanning, and most employees actively scan for the trend. And in large firm, they have less development, restricted and exclusive sources, and strongly support external communication and rapid foresight diffusion. While in SMEs, they have low formal foresight diffusion. And this may, because of their the company structures in large firms and SMEs, the rapid foresight diffusion and the formal foresight diffusion. We also use the Pearson correlation analysis to explore the relationship between open innovation maturity and the corporate foresight maturity. The result shows there is a positive and significant relationship between overall open innovation maturity and corporate foresight maturity, as well as open innovation, overall open innovation maturity, and all 5 dimensions of corporate foresight maturities. And among them, the organization has the highest result. The conclusions and the implications. The main contribution of this research is to advance the literature on measuring open innovation and corporate foresight maturity levels, and to provide an enhanced understanding of the current position and future development of these suppliers. We hope to we propose to improve corporate foresight and open innovation management and update business model in these suppliers. The implications for the managers, we suggest them to improve the organizational structure and enhance culture shift that encourage the all employees' involvement in the open innovation and corporate foresight activities, and continuous access and monitor their open innovation and corporate site maturity levels. Our questionnaires and the radar diagrams can be used to monitor their open innovation and corporate foresight effort and benchmark with their partners. The limitation and the future research, because in the literature, the open innovation maturity in descriptive levels that we use 5-point Likert scale. So our result is still preliminary. And also because we only our respondents are only equipment and technology suppliers in the US forest sector. So we suggest that the future research will also research about the suppliers in other regions and countries, and also other type of firms, not only the suppliers in the US forest sector. And we also suggest a larger sample size. Because in the literature, it says that more advanced corporate foresight maturity level may not be better for all the firms, because it has to match with their corporate foresight need. So we suggest that the future research will evaluate the future preparedness by comparing their maturity level and the corporate foresight need. And also due to the characteristics of the time lag of innovation and corporate foresight, we suggest a longitudinal study on the impact of corporate foresight on firm performances. I would like to thank the companies who funded me to study in the wood science department, and also thank my advisor and committee members. Thanks to Dr. Mark Needham and Ariel helped me with the statistical questions, and I'm really grateful for all the help from help and support from wood science faculty and staff members. Special thanks to Angela and Jessica, and to International Program Office, Michelle and Carrie. And thank you all my friends, and also the fellow graduate students. Without all your support, I will not be here today. And thank you everyone who I have not mentioned here for all your encouragement and support during these years. And here are the literature I cited in this presentation. And thank you for your attention. And with this closing slide, I'm open to any questions related to the research. Thank you.
Thank you, Ping. Questions? I don't see anything in chat, so just unmute and fire away.
I have a question. Impressive presentation and nice piece of research, Ping. I have a question. How do the companies in the sector supplying forest industry compare to like hallmarks of futuristic thinking industries or innovative industries? How do they compare to Amazon, SpaceX's, Apple's, and other companies? Would it be possible to put some of these companies as the reference on these graphs to see where are the suppliers of technology and equipment to forest products industry on in this scale?
Yeah, thank you for your question. I think this is a very I like this perspective, like to compare the material sector with the more advanced sector and to see their difference. Yes, I haven't think about this actually, but it would be interesting to see the result, because according to the literature that the material sectors like the forest sectors is relatively conservative in the innovation in general. But during these years, because of the disruptive changes in the business context, and more technologies are coming into the forest sector. I believe there's a big change. It will be very interesting to see the result.
Would it be possible without additional research and surveying, just based on the available data?
I think there will more survey or research will be needed for this. I believe so.
Thank you, Ping.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'd like to ask a question. Oh, sorry.
I think mine would be pretty quick. I was just going to ask about the companies that you were comparing here. I was reminding myself that they're more like the tooling and the hardware of the forest sector, and I'm not talking about lumber and timber here. So are these companies also active in other tooling sectors, or are they making machinery for other industries?
Sorry, I don't quite understand the late the one part of the questions.
Basically, if many of these companies making the hardware and the tooling are also working in other sectors outside of forestry.
Oh yes, yes. There are some of the not all of them, but there are some of these suppliers. They have a big business range. They also supply for like other construction sectors or even the chemistry. One of them has a very large range.
Any other questions?
Yeah, John. I've got one question for Ping, but firstly, Ping, congratulations on getting to this point. I know it's been a challenge, and you know, excellent effort. Well done. Can't say more, really. It's great to see you get to this point. Just one question in regards to the longitudinal analysis. So that'd be working with numerous companies over an extended period of time and trying to track how they change. Is that the idea?
Yes, it's to compare their corporate to compare their activities, and then with the firm performances in a couple of years later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be difficult to get companies to comply, considering that the initial reaction or response rate to the survey sort of in the order of 25–30%?
You mean what I have experienced in the data collection?
Originally, when you sent the survey out,
yes,
the level of response was, I think you said it was in the order of like 25–30%, 28% or something like that.
I have 23.9%.
Okay. And so I'm thinking, all right, you're not getting a great response rate. So to do a longitudinal analysis or to find a company or companies that would want to do that, do you think that'd be difficult? Just because,
yeah, without a database, it will be quite difficult, especially you are going to have their firm performances data. And first of all, this company has to survive over this. And then you need to have all these data, and they need to be cooperative to supply this. In the future, there is, as far as I know, there is one of the research about this. It's very impressive, but they are only survey the international large companies, and also some of the performances can, like their financial outcome can be checked from internet because they are listed companies.
Right.
Yeah,
yep.
It will be easier.
Yep.
I'm not sure if this is realistic in the supplying in these suppliers, because as far as I surveyed, they are most of them are SMEs.
Yeah.
So this is but it would be nice to know the result of the corporate foresight. So maybe in the future, some other researchers can find other ways to check the performance.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to have that longer term tracking and see how they change. But yeah, it's a good point about survival. Anyway, thank you, Ping, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Other questions? All right. Hearing none, let's go ahead and close the seminar for today. It was recorded, and my intention is to get all of these recordings up on YouTube so that everybody that wants to watch them can watch them. I'm having a little trouble technically getting that done, but I will figure that out and get it up there and send out a link to everybody. So thank you for your attention. Next week, if memory serves, the speaker will be Dylan Willard. And I think I also sent out a schedule for everybody for this term. And Lek, I will upgrade my technical skills and get this a recurring thing on Outlook that automatically comes up. I'll have to figure out how to do that, but I think it's pretty straightforward.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
John.
you all.
John, as for recordings, perhaps it would be easier to, because the seminar series is a class, right? Perhaps it would be easier to post it in Canvas rather than YouTube.
Well, it gets posted in Canvas, but except last week I goofed it up because it didn't because you only have 24 hours to get it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had it on YouTube, and then I didn't, and I hadn't moved it off of Canvas to Kaltura. So, but not everyone is registered for the class. The only people that can access it on Canvas are people that are registered for the class, which is very few.
Oh, okay.
That's why I want to put it on YouTube.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Have a good week.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Hey, John, I have a quick question for you, if you have a second. Do you have a second?
Yeah.
So I believe I'm registered for the class, but I don't see a Canvas site.
Well, I don't know so this class is a little different than your other classes. So I think you're new, right, James?
Mm-hmm.
So this class, you're required to attend all 3 terms. We don't do seminars in the summer. You're required to attend during the school year, but you can only register for it once. So you only get 1 credit hour out of this class.
Okay.
So we do that because we found that, I'm not so sure about when everything is Zoom, but we found that when we were all live years ago now, it really did help the students to feel more like a community. And so we wanted everybody there every week. And
sure.
Besides that, it's good for your education. It helps broaden your education. You know what the other students are doing. Right.
No, it's great. I just want to make sure that I'm complying with everything that needs to be done, because I didn't see anything on Canvas, so I was assuming.
I think there is a problem because they last term they canceled the class because during winter term we have a student committee that handles getting all of the seminar speakers for the term, and because of COVID, Eric decided we would just cancel it for last term, and I think they canceled it, period. So I think we need to get it reinstated.
So are there any requirements for the 1 credit class beyond attending?
Nope, that's it. I take attendance, and if you don't show up, I send you an email, and if you don't show up a couple, 3 times, I copy your major professor on the email. So
okay. Got it.
You'll end up attending. Yeah.
Yes. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sure. Who's next? No more questions?
Oh, no. His question was something that I sent you an email like before the term even started about the same thing. So I'm just sticking around. But that answers my question.
Yeah, I'll make a note here. I've got to get that figured out.
But I mean, now that I know that we just need to attend right now, I'm perfectly fine.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Cody. Andrew, Hal, you have questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I'm just listening till the end. Thank you very much.
How about you, Hal? Any questions? No. Okay, so I'm going to end now and see you all next week.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.